Michael Robertson and his partner Sean Moran recorded this video as a massive fire front bore down on their farm at Bilpin, at the foot of the New South Wales Blue Mountains last month.
It was really windy coming towards us. It was getting darker and darker. And then all of a sudden you could see it coming through the trees. We're in Bilpin and the fire is basically coming towards us.
We've lost 40 homes in the area, so every one of these boxes hopefully saves someone.
I remember a few of us looked at each other as though to say, somebody chucked a sausage or a chop on the barbie or something. And that was the smell of, like the insects, snakes and marsupials that had been caught up in it.
While scores of homes were destroyed in Bilpin, Michael and Sean are convinced it wasn't just luck that saved theirs. Is this where they burnt through?
Yeah, they started the back burn just the other side of the fence. Actually up there a little bit, but as you can see it's come through here and it's gone through the fences here. But at the same time, if they hadn't have done that, then it would have come straight through the farm and the whole of Bilpin. You'd lose it.
So do you think this basically saved your property?
Definitely, yeah.
Burning to contain a bushfire is known as backburning. When firefighters work to reduce the risk during winter, it's called hazard reduction burning. And Michael wants more of both.
We should do a lot more of it. And now, just because it's been burnt now, don't wait for another fire in 5 years' time. This winter, let's get onto it.
This hugely destructive fire season has renewed a debate about hazard reduction burning.
I got to tell you, as I've toured firegrounds and I've sat with the victims of these fires, the most constant issue that has been raised with me has been the issue of managing fuel loads in national parks.
I agree, yeah, too much fuel. You go for a walk off my farm, 5 minutes into the bush, you can barely move.
Hazard reduction is absolutely an important factor when it comes to fire management and managing fire in the landscape, but it is not the panacea.
We live in a flammable landscape and we need to be realistic about what hazard reduction burning can do.
The bushfire experts 730 spoke with said that hazard reduction burning is a complex task that requires very specific conditions. Each state and territory manages their own targets for burning. Data compiled by 730 shows some states and territories have fallen short of their hazard reduction targets over the past 5 years. Queensland leads the field, burning almost 4 million hectares of bushland from 2014 to 2019. New South Wales has burned much less, more than 630,000 hectares over the same period, while Victoria has burnt about 740,000 hectares.
Many of these targets aren't being met because the conditions under which you can safely burn are getting shorter, so it can be too wet in some years, so the forest won't ignite. It can be too dry and dangerous in other years, so it's a very narrow window.
La Trobe University fire ecologist Michael Clark was a member of the expert panel for the 2009 Black Saturday Fires Royal Commission.
I think some of the myths around hazard reduction burning is that the agencies have been constrained by some super powerful green movement. When I look at the data and I talk to the people in the agencies, it's not the green groups that are constraining them, it's the weather and resourcing.
The experience in Bilpin shows both the benefits and hazards of backburning. In December, the state's Rural Fire Service confirmed that some homes were destroyed when firefighters lost control of a burn.
I think we need to cut the fire agency staff some slack to say they are doing the best they can. They are making very tough decisions with the best information they've got at the moment, but sometimes things will change.
Some of the hysteria that this will be the problem that solves, or the solution to all our problems, is really just quite an emotional load of rubbish, to be honest.
The effectiveness of hazard burning is also widely misunderstood.
It's a tool in the toolbox, it's an imperfect tool, and sometimes things go wrong. We're in a really different landscape this year in particular, and it's only seeming to get worse under climate change.
We can't keep going with business as usual. We need to look at all the potential cards in our deck, and that's got to include this idea of doing some mechanical thinning.
The forestry industry has put forward another suggestion to manage fuel loads, but is reluctant to describe it as logging.
This is sometimes called thinning, it's sometimes called clearing, it's sometimes called biomass removal.
The proposal has been criticised by bushfire experts.
The best science that I know of says that selective logging in those forests will let more light into the forest floor and dry the forest floor out even further. And at this very time in history, we're struggling to contain fires because the forest floor is so dry. So why we would want to make it drier is a bit beyond me.
This fire was unprecedented on so many levels. The locals up here say they've never seen anything like it. I've heard experienced firemen say they've never seen anything like it.
Residents in Bilpin now look to the town's future and count their losses.
I've had friends lose their houses and just give me a minute. Just think about all the destruction and what people have lost. If they hadn't have done that backburn and it had come with that fire front and the whole thing, we wouldn't have stood a chance.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.